Hello and welcome everybody back to the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare of Anno 1800. And this is quite a panorama, especially with the airships here in the front. It looks quite interesting. Yep, I am happy. This is how a city, at least in the early game, should look like. Though it is technically not the early game. So, as promised in the last episode, we are going to focus on having the Salvager ship in this episode. And see if we can get some items through this. So in the meantime, I'm going to sail to the Queen. Let's see if it also counts for airships. Yes, it does. Wow, now we got all the building materials that we needed. Nice. Though a bit late, as I might add. Okay, so here we get furs and red pepper or paprika. Is there something else with an interesting fertility? I mean, yeah, here on this island we have copper, we have grapes, we have niter, and we have oil, so we are definitely going to need also an island there. The question is, are we able to somehow open up more influence points? Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, again, what were they thinking with that system? With a hard cap. But well. Project Colony is the chance to make it better, right? So here we have that item for the Salvager ship. And now it's time to say to Old Nate's Lighthouse. Okay. So if we continue like that, the amount of farmers will be quite huge. We'll probably also create later a farmer island or something like that. Just to make sure. Because in general the amount of farmers that we need is not going to decrease, since also for the investors and so on we will in the end need farms. Hovering. So, and here we will get the materials to also build a commuter pier to make sure. Then we get also again 200 workforce of each type.
Welcome to Trelawney, graveyard to thousands, the gift that keeps on giving. What your Queenie wants is a diving bell. I could, lease you my prototype. Being a prototype, I will ask you to sign a waiver for your life before you use it.
Aye.
So, and here we got now the Medusa 4, a Salvager.
You've got me by the dirry giblets. What do you want?
New orders.
So, increased chance of finding animals. Okay. Increased chance of finding machines. Diving bell rarity.
I'm an impulsive shopper myself.
Salvage scrap amounts. Increased chance of finding artifacts. Yeah, we are going to buy it all just in case.
Found an egg with a palace in it. Fixed the hinge and stuck it on the bow of me lady blimp.
So many items.
Game saved.
Carry her about.
Ah, darn it. I always tend to press this button instead of trade. That is not optimal.
Dirigibbling.
So make quick, maybe I can still buy that one item.
Hold the crane.
On course. Light path blocking.
Okay, now we should have enough items for specialization and also a few things for the treasure hunt, as it seems.
Ready.
Okay, now for our
the crane.
salvager. I mean, we have 3 yellow items with here. Salvage scrap amount plus 30% increased chance of finding items of rarity, rare, epic, and legendary while diving. Yeah, please. Increased chance of finding machines. Increased chance of finding animals.
Bring her around.
So we can dive here at a specified location. Okay.
Room to maneuver.
Let's see what you're good for, shall we? You're dead, milk.
Sorry, but I have no interest in doing quests for you right now. So now
Ship
we are diving.
constructed.
Yeah, there's the diving bell being let down. And we got 20 tons
Bring her
of scrap.
around.
Do you think I got this far by throwing stuff away? Bring that rubbish to me. I'll polish it up. Dug up more than? Not half bad, eh?
New orders.
I can turn around your junk so long as I get to keep the odd smidge of junk.
Not enough to call it extortion.
Try to coming back up with nothing but scrap. I can watch out for the octopuses. They like to keep all the good stuff under wraps.
On our way.
And suddenly, a red fleet appeared.
Let you build there, did she? A modern ruler, your queen. I wouldn't have minded working for her.
He looks a lot like the Admiral.
We'll notify you when we're... Oh, sweet fancy. Bless you.
Well, let's see if we will find something interesting with our ship. Will we in the meantime work on the city? I don't know. We could go for canned food. Maybe we even find something to put into the town hall.
Game saved.
We will see. I'm just a bit surprised that we can actually find animals, but I guess those will most likely be deep sea
Perhaps
animals
it's
and
time
stuff
you
like
met our
that.
Davy Jones.
I see we are not the first to pay old Nate for these coordinates. I only hope we are the first to find what's down there.
I am Vasco Oliveira. I conduct the solemn and discreet business of none other than King Juao of Akaroa. That's La Corona to the plebs. We have come only to pay our respects beside the grave of a once great empire.
It's obvious why they're here. It's the same reason we're here. For the emblematic power that scepter will give whoever owns it. But we can't afford a war with La Corona. Feeble though they may be, so I'm afraid you'll have to rely on wits to beat this Oliveira to it.
Watch out for the octopuses. They like to keep all the good stuff under wraps.
Carry her about.
Could this be? This is the journal of my father's strategist, Nadaski. The city is now closer to magnificence.
Bring her around.
This waterlogged log is in a terrible state. Did you not bring any art restorers with you? He may have been on the winning side, but Father always said Admiral Nadaski's carelessness had meant the scepter being lost to the waves.
We're in the presence of a virtuoso.
The fire is out of control.
A fire? Really? Okay then. Time to extinguish it.
The fire left ruins behind.
So, problem solved. So, engineer also wants me to build a harbor master's office. It should not be too much of a problem. Unless it costs influence.
What a happy vision of yours.
It is always the influence. Now we are lucky there's even a faint possibility of returning John to semblance of its original condition. We must first see to the binding. People tell me a flower-based glue will be gentler on such a delicate manuscript than an acid one, and that we also want the precision and punch of modern sewing machines for the stitching.
Aye.
So yeah, I can't build the Harbor Master's office right now. For reasons. Okay, you will go to the old world. Do we have flour? Not really, because we are not yet full on bread.
Our cruise was just as full as last time. My portmanteau has spilled out everywhere.
So, that means I cannot build the stuff that is required. How about a pier? At least that one does not cost influence.
How thrilling! A renowned personage has arrived.
Frank von Levenstein, warmest of hosts.
Game saved. Waiting course.
Your ship has returned from its voyage.
Maneuvering.
Oh, here's also another side quest.
Perhaps there is a way to put theory, however happy I am, the desire to bridging the gap. Quod erat demonstrandum.
How? Props are spinning.
Okay, from you we need flour and sewing machines. Do we have some items that we want to take with us? That we can, for example, put into the town hall.
I'm confident it's ready to go.
You have the worst timing, always. Happiness plus 12 sounds good. No, not to the New World, but to Cape Trelawney. So now we can focus on the newspaper.
Idiot is back. It's important to be true to oneself.
New orders.
And apparently I have no other choice than to increase the size of the city in order to get more influence.
An explosion in one of your factories.
I just want to focus on building game. And of course, since I'm lacking influence, I can't really build any of these here. So I have to integrate them later.
Hovering.
And of course I now lack a few goods.
Ship constructed.
So that should work on that front. Schnapps we still have enough, but we need a few more working clothes.
The festival has ended. Your city has grown uglier. Game saved.
Now of course we are lacking timber. Yay! Always something missing. But that is something that not a little
Your
waiting
ship
time
has returned from its voyage.
Altitude
can
stable.
take care of it. In the meantime, we are working here on improving the situation, on solving quests.
You do so much. Dare I ask again?
One is no dunce-hatted imbecile, but I rather think we'll need a class SWAT or two to decipher this. A university with a budding college of paleographers to decipher Nadaski's shameful handwriting.
A university.
I am told you may have something for me. Oh, it's all much clearer now. Do thank your expert gods at the university for all their brio.
Airship.
Much to read. Following the King's commands to intercept Admiral Silver's flotilla, we arrived at Cape Trelawney at 1 p.m. La Corona's entire armada is here, the flagship especially being of opposing size it might. Such a disproportionate escort suggested our informants were correct. They must be transporting the scepter of Capon that our king is seeking. La Corona's fleet is vast in terms of size and number, but ours is staffed with seamen, both seasoned and loyal. We have a chance of winning a decisive victory against the enemy here at Trelawney, but not if we fixate on recovering the scepter as the king is insisting. I admit taking the talisman would greatly damage La Corona's national spirit, but what of our own when 1,000 or more sailors are sent to their deaths for a trinket? No, we must have no other thought than employing the very best tactics to win the day. Since the king will no longer leave the safety of his fortress atop the cliffs, we may be able to blame the fog for not complying with his signals. There were a few other incidents today. At 3 p.m. we intercepted 2 enemy gunboats at random aground between 2 small islands to the southeast, with cliffs like 2 guard dogs facing one another. At 4:30 p.m. we discovered a frigate bearing the emblem of La Corona, smuggling crates out of a pirate cove in the spire-shaped cluster of islands that lie due east. Lastly, we had a skirmish with a ship of a line near an old watchtower between the 3 large islands due west. She sank with all her cargo.
Admiral Nadaski writes that he defied the orders of my father. That treasonous jacktar. Father should have had his head.
I really hate the queen. Sorry, but Nadaski was doing the right thing. That is just... wow, she's so simple-minded. Dare I even say stupid? Not only how she started the entire ordeal, no. That's just sheer incompetence. Do I really want to give her a symbol of power? Honestly, I don't think so. But hey, it's the game that is making the rules. They had the chance to create a likable character for me.
The people celebrate your leadership.
But no, they didn't.
Don't you think this place resembles Nadaski's description?
The crane.
We found it! But wait, where is the Grand Eagle at its top? This is but a portion of the rod.
Around.
It's no great secret then. We are both looking for the Holy Scepter of Capon, among other things. Vicent thought it clever to split our national treasure and the scepter across 3 different ships. But with the scepter dismantled, belief evaporated.
The people celebrate your leadership.
Come on, give me more timber. Yes, only a bit more.
Rapture! Rejuvenation!
We've just received the final versions of the next few pages of a journal. Be gentle with them, the ink is still fresh.
Cargo stations.
La Corona opened fire this morning. We engaged a battle at 10 a.m. southeast of the region. A conflict which lasted until 7 in the evening. We lost many good men today, the sly young Admiral Silver having deployed mines to protect the enemy convoy. It was the King's command that we attack in a single line, parallel to the enemy formation. Fortunately, I was able to persuade the fleet to ignore this instruction and instead arrange themselves into 2 perpendicular columns to cut through the enemy line, and as a corollary avoid the mines. Our lead ships were blown apart, but it left a path clear for the rest of us. The enemy fleet, being snipped into thirds, were vulnerable to broadsides. We proceeded to drive them towards their own mines, and though in the mayhem there were casualties on both sides, we knew victory for the Empire had been won. We thank those brave sailors who lost their lives today that we ourselves survived, and shall never forget their sacrifice. The price would have been far greater had we sworn blind obedience to the king's strategy. It would doubtless anger him to hear his orders were defied, but I stand by my decision. It may even please him to hear I have been wounded for my arrogance. It's likely my dress and decorations made me a conspicuous target, and I took a shot of musket to my side. My arm still has full function, and my head is not half as foggy as the doctor thinks it to be, so I will continue my command until our operation here has concluded. La Corona may have suffered a defeat of magnitude today, but the flagship, the Gargantuan Santissima Vittoria, managed to escape unscathed.
If we're to find anything in this graveyard, we might as well commission the Vulture.
Altitude stable.
And in the meantime, I will probably have to increase the production of nearly everything here. At least so it seems.
You've got our interests at heart.
I can put something together for you, but Oliveira dropped by a while ago asking for the same thing, and I'm all out of rubbish.
Drops are spinning.
So we're actually quite close to getting to the next profile level, meaning more influence, yay!
Ship constructed.
And in the meantime, we should get more and more airships.
Help us out, will you, boss? I'm happy as a sandboy. Will you
You want
build
to-
us another castle?
You want to have a photo of a brick factory.
Your ship has returned from its voyage.
Well, that is what you seek. Photo has been taken.
A promise kept.
What, fine-handled power auger, affects clay, puts a bit of extend my limestone quarry and oil ones. That is actually quite perfect as a reward here, to increase the oil output of this island. Yeah, that's good. So... yeah, of course, we have no quests in this region. So I have to go to Cape Trelawney again, then I can take a look at my quests. So we have 5 tons of quartz, 5 tons of steel. There's also a design decision that I don't get, but... especially when you have so many regions that interact with each other, then you cannot lock the quest book to single regions. That is... but okay. My opinion of the interface of Anno 1800 is actually quite clear. I mean, I'm pretty sure I talked about it in the past.
Game saved.
Some improvements, a major step forward in many ways, but also a step backwards. Come on, give me the additional influence. I need it. look at that. Here's an old camp. I'm pretty sure we will have to interact with it later in the story as well.
Your ship has returned from its voyage.
So you can go here to Old Nate.
To the edge of the world.
Wow, that card is not really helpful. Yeah, this here's the island. So the location should be here. Ah, we might also have a little indicator here to help us. Okay. Yeah, we can dive here with the diving bell.
Maneuvering.
Tied up the scraggins. Now, this is arguably my greatest invention to date. It's like invisible hands reaching through the air and... there! That sound will keep you true.
It must be around here somewhere. Proceed with your goobling, or however you call it.
Dirigibbling.
It's actually quite sad that we can,
New orders.
as far as I can see, only have one Salvager ship.
Heart swells like the surf. I could simply go to press. Loot doesn't, indeed taste half as bad.
Changes?
And what did we get? A fine steel hull. That's actually a bit underwhelming.
Room to maneuver. Bring her around.
Yeah, I'm not really keen on continuing the quest right now. I will probably get some treasure maps, and we'll go to the old world and find some artifacts. So here for the old world, you will go to the old world. And in the meantime, we will continue a bit further here in the hopes of finally getting the influence required. I know that some people will probably complain in the comments about me being salty again, but with such a stupid
Game
mechanic,
saved.
the only thing left that I can do is actually being salty. And I decided that for myself, saltiness is the way to go today. And now we need a bit more of everything.
Hail to thee, high above the rest.
I'm really looking forward to building the palace. Though I will only start that as soon as we have all the influence necessary. So in the meantime we got 72 timber, meaning I have now the resources necessary in order to increase our production. I love it to have such modular systems. So, increase bread production. Loads, do you want? Soap is enough. You might want more beer. That is of no surprise, but for that we need a bit more timber.
Hold the crane.
Time to rummage in the old sea chest.
Yeah, this here's the island.
On our way.
And there's the location.
To the edge of the world.
So time to get 2 items. I wish the Salvager was also a bit
The epidemic spreads across your
faster.
city.
An epidemic? Oh noes. Well, it's nothing that we can't solve, right? Seems like we are not only dealing with La Corona, but also with the coronavirus.
Buildings abandoned.
New orders.
And the interface is simply not made for dealing with so many ships at the same time. Dionysian Mosaic. Do we actually have that already? Yeah, there it is.
The festival has ended.
So, the next one. We have a small island.
Your city has grown uglier.
With only a beach to the south.
Begin
And
the
here
turn.
it is. And here was once an NPC city. And since forests don't regrow themselves,
The festival has ended.
it's lost. Forever. No more forests here.
Your city has grown uglier.
So in the meantime, we should have enough timber here in Cape Trelawney to increase our beer production.
Game saved. Your city has grown uglier.
Ooh, the city has grown uglier, yeah, but it will be beautiful in the end. You will see.
Awaiting course.
Nothing can stop the beauty of this island. By the way, I really like the trade post of Old Nate. It has a bit of a steampunk feel, and again, I would think that an Anno with a steampunk setting would be glorious, but probably not sell very well. So, what does the normal production say? It says everything is fine, that is good. Maybe we can now actually start with the production of everything necessary to produce canned food. If we had the resources here.
Props are spinning.
Olio reporting in.
Usable on steamships when activated. Yeah. I don't like active items.
I could use George Smith's bath chair once he's gone. Can't be long now, can it?
Bring her around.
Okay, then that should do the trick, and with the next step we are going to transport some resources so that we can start with the production of canned food. Oh yeah, the city is growing.
I should be honored.
Airship.
Aye.
The people celebrate your leadership.
My heart swells like the surf.
So, come back to Cape Trelawney. We have 2 items to put into our museum.
Spinning.
And you... Well, in the meantime...
Begin the turn.
Get me everything that I need.
Maneuvering.
And then we can do the production of canned food completely on this island.
Airship.
Game saved.
Cargo stations.
Okay then, and here we have the iron deposit.
Your ship has returned from its voyage. Your city has grown uglier.
How much do we actually need here in Cape Trelawney? Only 2 canned food. Yeah, we are definitely going to do an overproduction here, just in case. I mean, with that iron mine, we can support 6 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Which means 8 of these. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hold the crane.
Aye,
And I'm definitely in need of more resources
a
again.
future bright.
Hold the crane.
Oh, and our Salvager has arrived. So this will be a museum focusing on the Aegean cultures.
Your city has grown more beautiful.
Cargo boat at the ready.
Right path plotted.
Yeah, we'll mostly need bricks for this.
We're in the presence of a virtuoso.
Always the timing. So many interruptions.
If you don't exploit this, some other bird will. Didn't take you for a Janus face. Fair play to you.
Okay, we are now lacking windows.
Olio reporting in. On our way.
Why must everything be so expensive in this game? It's the same issue that I had with Anno 2070. Too much stuff to
An
transport
explosion
between
in one of your factories.
For fuck's sake. Again, no challenge.
Altitude stable.
The people celebrate your leadership.
One final look. We have taken to calling you the master. It's important to be true to oneself.
Okay, so now that we have all of that, we need 8 cattle farms and 8 red pepper farms. Pretty sure we can provide that.
Game saved. The people celebrate your leadership.
Well, not beautiful, but rare. So, and on the other side, we are now getting into those.
Hovering.
It's not raining unless it makes.
Okay. Now we should have everything necessary. Trade route from here to there. And it will be canned food. Drei. Canned food. Accept. Once all the canned food has arrived here, we will get a few more artisans, which should finally unlock the next tier, the next influence tier. So, do we have some Cape Trelawney treasure hunts that we can do? New word, old word, Arctic, new word, old word, new word, Cape Trelawney.
Game saved.
A machine again.
Ship shape.
Begin the turn.
Here we have it. Machinery, that means we get another item. So, and here our airship is now transporting canned food, at least as soon as it is being produced.
Wake me up when you're ready. Start up again. Oh, right.
Airship.
And now the first deliveries of canned food have started. Slowly but steadily we are making progress. Yeah, we have a very high average happiness
Crane.
What's eating biscuit for?
And we got a few torpedoes.
Heading set.
So I need to find out what we can do with scrap.
Waiting course.
Come on, be quicker, little Salvager. Wait, where's my scrap?
The festival has ended.
Does it count as a resource? Ah, as a building material. Okay.
The city has grown uglier.
Not what I expected, I have to admit.
Maneuvering.
So I'm pretty sure we can deliver it up to here.
Ready.
Transmute. Salvager items. Interesting, what do we get here? Dominator. Exterminator. Indiscriminator. But I want to know, what can I do with that scrap? But okay, we can use here we can get here quite a couple of interesting items for our trade unions. In productivity plus 35% for everything. Just imagine having like 100 of these items. Unfortunately, we can't put duplicate items into a trade union, but still, 35% more productivity, less workforce needed. And it gets also electricity.
Game saved.
Income per house plus 30%. Yeah, what can I do with the scrap? Apparently nothing aside from selling it to him.
Dirigibbling.
So that was severely disappointing. Well, let's go find a few items before we end this episode, because it's now already lasting an hour.
On our way.
Arctic. Cape Trelawney. You can actually see on the color of a binding to which world it belongs. So dark blue is always Cape Trelawney, green is the new world, red is the old world, light blue is the Arctic. That's helping. It really is. So...
Aye, aye.
Begin the turn.
Ship shape.
Okay, so here we get one from Vicente Silva. And here's the other item. I wish I could have one Salvager per region, so that they wouldn't have to go through the different regions. But again, I'm always needing these treasure maps, as it seems. Or can I just dive randomly somewhere? Also something that is worthy of being found out.
No captain could ask for more.
On our way.
And we found a fine steel haul, which
The
is
festival has
completely
ended.
useless.
I could simply go to press. The idiot is back. Oh, uncompromising journalism.
Begin the turn.
But hey, maybe we'll find something nice in here.
Bring her around. Begin the turn.
The crew come round to ye.
Carry her about.
And we found a blobfish. Well, something to put into our zoo. Right, it will be an aquarium. For the abyssal depths.
Game saved.
And there it is, barely visible.
Aye.
So, time to find a proper thumbnail. Since we focused so much on the Salvager. Yeah, this should be it. So, and that is it for today. As always, I hope you liked this episode. If yes, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It's always a great feedback for me. It keeps me happy, it keeps me going. And by the way, we got the additional influence finally due to the canned food. So that is something that we can also quickly do. I'm saying here the last things. And yeah, if you have any feedback, questions or whatsoever, don't hesitate, just type it down in the comments. I will make sure to read every comment that I can.
Once my capital is all set, Archie will let me return to these sunny shores anytime I like.
And yeah, if you want to reach out to me directly or to the community, feel free to join our community Discord. You will find an invitation link in the video description down below. Just make sure that if you are there, please communicate with the people there. Otherwise it just gets really, really silent because we are not that many yet on the Discord. And if you want to get notified whenever I upload something new, then, well, consider subscribing to the channel. But please make sure that notifications are activated, otherwise you would just miss it. And with that, we are going to wrap up. Goodbye, and see you in the next episode of Anno 1800. Bye bye.